Hey, it's Ryan here. I want to share a half-baked idea, something that I was working on one time, but I'm in the process of moving, looking at all the junk I have, and I'm going to throw out this project. Before I do that, I want to share the idea, pass it on, maybe someone else can use it. So the context here is I was working on the mental epic routine. You know, the classic, not the divided board, but just writing on 3 sheets of paper, you rip it off, next prediction. Mental epic, classic of mentalism. And there's this idea where each of the 3 predictions is written in different colored ink. So I'm going to think of a number for you. I'm going to write it in red, rip it off, fold it up, put it there. Number. I'm going to think of a word. I'm going to write it in blue ink. Rip it up, fold it up, or rip it off, fold it up. Word is in blue. And then pick a card is written in black ink, and you fold it up. And so it adds that layer of deception. Maybe this is kind of magician thinking stuff, but it adds that layer of deception that the first one is written in red, the second one in blue, and the third one in black. In order to do that, there's some extra deceit that must happen with the colors. You need to be able to switch colors as you write. You probably know the routine. If not, maybe heard of the idea. So I was trying to figure this out. Normally it's done with pencils or pens or something, but I like to play big on stage. I want to make sure it's written in nice bold markers. And so I started playing with this idea. So this is my prototype. This is an afternoon at the dollar store and hacking things apart. So the first prediction, it'll be written with my yellow marker, which probably can't be seen, but because it's just a prototype, yellow happened to be the color. Great. So we're going to write that prediction. But I need to secretly switch my yellow marker for a black marker. And now this marker is a black marker using this little switching device. Now obviously this looks super weird. Again, a prototype. This is scotch tape and paper. But the idea is this marker that can be double-ended. I would print this with some sort of marker design on it. But the idea is it can be a black marker, and then it's a little bit tight, or it switches into a yellow marker whenever you need it. So you can say you're going to write your prediction in black, but when it comes time to actually write that prediction, you've secretly swapped it out. This should be a black cap as well, but you've secretly swapped it out in order to write that prediction. Now, you would have to have 3 of these markers, but that's the idea. So this is a double-ended marker inside of a tube. I was inspired by the dollar store. They have these whiteboard dry erase markers that are double-ended, and I started to think, oh, hey, that could be a solution. But when you buy these, they don't have the proper sequence, because what you need is 3 different color markers in a circular sequence, so you can go back around. They don't have the right colors, so I had to make my own. So I found these next to them at the dollar store, these little Crayola markers, but they're really short. That's all cap. The actual marker is quite short. And I thought, okay, now we're getting somewhere. I could use these and stick them end to end, which is exactly what this prototype is underneath this cover. It's just 2 markers stuck end to end. Unfortunately, the cap is really long, which makes this whole thing awkwardly long for a marker. If that cap was cut off, it would be more like a normal marker length. If you were able to saw off the end of this marker, that would again shorten it up just enough to make it back to kind of normal marker size. But I think the core idea is there, potential to have that three-way, one-ahead color changing marker system. I don't know if this idea already exists or not, but something I was working on. I stopped working on it. I decided the trick wasn't necessarily for me, at least not at this time I was working on it. And so I'm going to throw all this in the garbage. But before I did, I wanted to make sure it was recorded and shared so somebody else can pick up that gauntlet and maybe work it into their mental epic routine. If you're looking for a source on this, what got me thinking about it was the lecture that Johnny Thompson did with Paul Vigil and Rick Mao. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Mao. Those three guys. We're talking about kind of mental. It's mostly mentalism, that lecture. But Johnny Thompson was doing his mental epic routine, which has a great idea. If you do mental epic, check that out. For the force that he uses, I think is brilliant, and it's what inspired me to pick up the routine again. So that lecture, Johnny Thompson, Paul Vigil, Rick Mao, and maybe this marker idea can come into play for you. That's it for me. That's my tips and tricks. As I said, I'm in the process of moving, so this is a quick casual video, and I hope as I get settled into the new place to be able to get back on track, sharing more tips and tricks. Talk to you then.